Hello guys. There was a little troubleshooting there. Hi everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm just waving at everyone now. Is everybody staying safe at home? I'm just gonna wait for a few more people and then we're gonna get started here. Hi Nati. Is the sound okay? Or do I need to talk louder? Hi Lily. So, feel free to send in your questions today or any comments that you want to make. I really want to make this as casual as, it can be, because this can be kind of awkward, just me talking to some random camera. So if you guys have any questions or comments, just feel free to put them in below. We're going to have a couple students just answering any specific questions that you have about coronavirus or other things that I'll be mentioning in the video. But I'll also be checking in on the chat and just kind of talking back to it. But I don't want to take too long making this recipe, and I don't want to go over the time limit, so we're going to try to go through this recipe as fast as we can. If you guys miss any details, or if you're if you want to check back, to actually make the recipe later, we're gonna keep this video on the Instagram HGTV link, so it'll be on there pinned afterwards, and then it'll also be on Facebook. So if you want to share it with your friends, feel free to go on our Facebook. So it's basically going to be, it's also FRESHable. So if you want to check back on the recipe, make sure to check it on there. But we're just going to be walking through this recipe. It's going to be super easy. I've made this recipe only once before, and it turned out so good, and I was just so amazed at how the ingredients are really flexible. And I actually went off of the original recipe and just tweaked a few things because I didn't have everything in my pantry. So this is going to be a good recipe to make right now, because not everybody is going to find all the ingredients on the grocery store or at home. So feel free to tweak anything as you wish. And we're just going to, I didn't actually mention what we're making, but we're making, I know Javi mentioned it in the comments before, but we're making Baharat spiced couscous salad, and it's super yummy and healthy also. It's going to be a vegan recipe, or plant-based. It's not gluten-free, but I'll be giving you guys some tips on how to make it gluten-free if you are gluten-free. So yeah, we're just going to get started here. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to just type them in the chat, and we're going to have a couple people typing back, responding, and I can also respond when I see the chat here and there. So, so far I kind of prepped some things already. I didn't have too much time, but I already cut or diced 1 carrot, but we're actually going to use 2. So, so some of the things that we were going to talk about today in regards to the coronavirus pandemic is that I feel like a lot of people are freaking out about grocery shopping right now, and it's totally understandable, but at the same time, I feel like we shouldn't resort to like panic. And also, I know a lot of people, because they were scared of eating, you know, different things, they thought that you could get the virus from like fruits and vegetables. A lot of people went and bought like frozen veggies and frozen, just like already, you know, like those frozen like fast meals that you can get at the grocery store. And also kind of a lot of canned food, and just like things like that, which are not necessarily the healthiest. It's totally like fine to eat that here and there, especially if like that's probably maybe the only thing that you had in your pantry, or like the only thing that you were able to find at the store. But I would not like only eat those foods, because you're really part of, you know, not getting the virus is making sure that you're eating foods that are going to help your immune system, and like and that's going to be fresh fruits and vegetables. So and also there hasn't been any research that shows that people are getting this virus from food. So there's really no reason to believe that you'll be getting the virus from eating, you know, fresh vegetables. I'm just gonna move this a little bit. So yeah, if you can, you should still be eating fresh fruits and vegetables. But we are going to be talking about kind of what you can do to reduce your chance of getting, getting the virus while being at the grocery store. So just like some practices that you can do. So as I didn't show you, but I already washed everything. As soon as I got from the grocery store, I pretty much washed things. But I also washed them again just in case, right before cooking everything. And so generally what you want to do is you want to just wash all your vegetables with, like things like a carrot, you can definitely wash while, you know, with soap and water. Something like lettuce or kale, things like that, you don't have to necessarily like use soap. You can just like keep it in some warm water, and like swish it around for a couple minutes, and then rinse it. And then like a tip that was given by Javi yesterday which is something that I like. I used to not be very good at, to be honest, like washing my vegetables. I was that kind of person that was like, oh yeah, it's gonna make my immune system stronger if I eat a little bit of dirt, which I feel like at this point, you know, like you just want to be what's best, especially right now with everything that's going on. But I started noticing after I washed my vegetables that like they became kind of soggy. And I asked Javi yesterday, and he was like, you have to dry it before you put it in the fridge, because the moisture is going to make it soggy. So basically right now, if you're washing things, or you should be washing things, after you wash them, you should be drying them also. So you can use like a paper towel, and then you can store it in the fridge. So far, we just we diced up 2 carrots. So it's probably going to be about, I don't know, it looks like 1.5 cups, but 2 medium-sized carrots will do. So we are going to be roasting these carrots with, actually I'm going to first. So I already rinsed my garbanzo beans, but basically I'm using canned garbanzo beans, so super easy to use canned. Hi Anya. But basically we're gonna be just getting the garbanzo beans and the carrots in here together, and we are going to be adding our spices to this. So this is a Mediterranean recipe. It's super yummy, and it uses a lot of different spices, which I know a lot of people don't. I didn't have many of these, and that's okay. You don't have to use all of them, but for the garbanzo beans and the carrots, we're gonna be using this Baharat spice mix, which basically has black pepper, cumin, cloves, cardamom, paprika, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And again, if we're gonna be actually typing up a recipe for this, so you don't have to like write anything down. We're just gonna have it all ready to go after the video. So I just kind of put all these spices together, and there they are. So we're just gonna put these on the garbanzo and carrot mix. I actually feel like I'm gonna need more spice, but that's kind of what it looks like. And then we're gonna add olive oil to this. I'll probably be using like 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons. And so yeah, I was reading like basically some procedures for grocery shopping right now, like what's kind of the best practices that you can do, and I've been kind of doing them myself. You don't have, like, these are not things that are gonna really, I think, like, when it comes down to it, washing your hands before and after you do pretty much anything, like cooking or going out, that's probably like the best practice. And then but there's other things, like, you know, you want to make sure to wash your hands right before you leave the house, and then when you get to the grocery store, I usually like hand sanitize after, like after driving, I hand sanitize, and then I have like a pack of gloves in my car that I just keep there. And I know like there's like experts of the CDC, they haven't really said that you should be using a mask or gloves when you're grocery shopping, but what people do say is that you're supposed to obviously wash your hands and then not touch your face when you're out. But I have the worst habit to touch my face like every day at every hour, like all day long, and it's just a really bad habit that I know, like I already knew that I had to like not, you know, like break that habit. But using gloves actually helps me not touch my face, because I'm just like, obviously I don't want to touch my face with these like plastic you know, gloves. Like I don't really want to feel that, and so it tends to make me more aware to like just know, okay, I'm here at the grocery store, I'm trying not to touch my face. And then also it kind of helps you just generally like prevent, if you do have something, like prevent leaving anything on other things, like a, you know, a cart or something like that. And the other thing is, like, if you should only be going to the grocery store if you're absolutely sure that, you know, you don't have any symptoms or that you haven't been really exposed to anything. The other thing is, if you're shopping for your family, really only one person should be going to the grocery store, so that you're not creating like a bigger crowd of people at the store. So you really want to make sure that, you know, before you leave to the store, you're asking everybody, hey, like, what do you need? You know, you're making a list of things. And then the other thing on that note is that you want to make a list of like staples that are gonna be able to be used for many different things or recipes, so that in case that you don't find something, you can just you can kind of adjust your recipe so that, you know, you're not having to like go to the store multiple times or go to different stores. So yeah, that's just like my general tips for like preparing to go to the store. So we're just gonna put this in the oven. I actually forgot to like turn it on, but you don't want this to be too crowded. So I already can see like if I pour all of this, it's gonna be crowded. So I'm just gonna put it in 2 different pans. And the reason why you don't want it to be too crowded is because it's gonna steam instead of it getting roasted. So you're not gonna have like a nice little like crisp to your vegetables. If it steams, it's just gonna be kind of soggy and watery. So there it is. We have this ready to be put in the oven. And I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. I don't really know exact like measurements for this, so I'm just putting it on 400 degrees, and then we're just gonna keep it in there for like 10-15 minutes for now, and then check back on it. So the next thing here, I have to prep my couscous. So this is actually a marinara, like pasta jar, but inside it's couscous. And I'm sure most of you probably don't know what that is, but basically, I actually didn't know that there was 2 types of couscous. I grew up eating the super tiny like couscous. Let me see. Actually, it doesn't matter. But I thought I had couscous, but I had like the super tiny couscous, like super little balls of it. And then this is actually, it's called pearl couscous, which is just like a bigger size ball. And couscous is made out of wheat, so it's basically like pasta, but in like a different shape. But this is actually, it's not Italian. It's from somewhere in the Middle East, like. But yeah, this is the first time I used it was for this recipe, and I thought it was super yummy. So, so we're gonna just be. It's interesting. Like, I'm gonna make this how you would make rice, which is you kind of want to toast it a little bit with some butter, and then you pour the water that's boiling. So I'm gonna set the water boiling. I have an electric water boiler, which I totally recommend. It makes cooking so much easier. So we're actually going to be pouring about, I think it's going to be 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of this. Actually, no, just 1 cup of couscous. And then we're gonna add some butter, which I'm using vegan cultured butter, which is so good. I recommend this brand if you're vegan. Hashtag Eric. But we are going to be sorry you guys can't have this right now, but you know, you can make it now. So we're gonna do like maybe a tablespoon of this, and put it into You know, sometimes you make mistakes. Like I just did one. I put the couscous first and then the butter. So now it's gonna be burning probably. But you first wanna, oh there you go. Thank you, Eric. Fact checking. So yeah, so you wanna put the butter in first so that it melts, and then you pour in the couscous so that it's all coating everything evenly. So we're gonna be then getting some of the veggies prepped for the salad. So like I said, I already washed everything, so don't come at me. So we're gonna be getting some, in this salad it's gonna be the couscous, the garbanzo beans, the carrots, and then we're gonna have radishes and cilantro. There's gonna be a dressing, and then there's gonna be dates and olives. So I think that's all the ingredients, in exception of the spice mix. So we're just gonna I'm gonna kind of show you. Hi, Maria. This is gonna be a little, actually. So I'm gonna show you this couscous on here. So I'm just kind of toasting it. It's gonna be just a little bit brown. And that's just going to be like 2 to 3 minutes on there toasting. I should lower the heat. Because butter can burn really quickly. Even though this is not real butter, but still it does burn just like butter. So that's going to be on there for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to add our boiling water to it and have it boil like pasta. So now we're just gonna be slicing some radishes, and so far for the people that joined later, we basically just are roasting some garbanzo beans with carrots and a bunch of spices. And so that's roasting in the oven right now. And then we're making the couscous, which is a pasta-like ingredient, but it's from, as Eric said, it's from Northwest Africa. And it's super yummy. It's just like, there's 2 types of couscous. There's like one that's super tiny, and then one that's bigger balls. And I've never tried the second type until recently, and it's so good. Please remind me to check on the oven and the couscous in a bit. But so we're just gonna be slicing these radishes for now. You just want to get, the thinner the slices, the better, and that's especially if you think that radishes can be like kind of harsh and bitter. But if you're like making the slices thin, then it's really gonna get coated in the dressing, and you're not gonna be. Oh hi. So yeah, it's gonna be like so much more tastier because it's gonna get coated in the dressing, and then you won't taste that bitterness from it. Actually, I have my little compost So we're just gonna be slicing this. And I am gonna be slicing about 6 radishes that are kind of small. So yeah, you guys can do, if you don't like it as much, maybe don't do as much. But how is oh wow, we have a lot of people now joining. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's safe and, you know, not feeling sick. But so we already talked about some of kind of the tips that we were giving when you grocery shop. So I can go over them again, but basically you want to make sure that you're, you know, washing your hands constantly. And I usually use hand sanitizer. I wash my hands, and then once I get to the store, I use hand sanitizer so that, you know, because after I like drive in my car, and then I usually will be putting on gloves. And like I said earlier, the CDC has not recommended that you, well, not that they haven't recommended, but they haven't said to use, that it's necessary to use gloves or a mask when grocery shopping. But oh yeah, the couscous is looking good. But I tend to put on gloves at the grocery store because they say that you should just not touch your face when you're out. But like, I have a really horrible habit to touch my face, and I know a lot of people like have been struggling with that as well. And so wearing gloves really helps me not touch my face when I'm grocery shopping. So that's really kind of the best tip that I can give to people that struggle with not touching your face, especially right now. But yeah, that really helped me a lot. And the other thing that I have been thinking about a lot is kind of what are the best grocery stores that are, you know, to go to right now, because there's some grocery stores that are just doing an outstanding job at kind of cleaning and sanitizing before, like in the morning and at the end of the day. And there's some stores that are really just not doing much. And I feel much more safe when I'm going to a store that is being proactive about all of this. And not just for my own safety, but also for the safety of the workers that are having to be there. And so I have a couple grocery stores that I prefer to go to here. I live in Oakland. So basically, I know that Berkeley Bowl has been initially a lot more on top of. They basically made a limit on how many people can go in at a time, and then they also were giving people gloves. Like, everybody was wearing gloves as they come in. They also closed the store earlier and opened later in the day so that they can sanitize everything at the end and at the beginning of the day. So yeah, basically that was Berkeley Bowl, and there's 2 stores in Berkeley. There's one kind of south of it, and then there's one closer to downtown. But if you guys are not in the area, then also I think Berkeley Bowl and then Trader Joe's has been doing kind of similar procedures. I know that I don't think they were giving people gloves, but they were closing earlier, and they were also only allowing a certain amount of people at a time. And so those are kind of the top two. Target has also has just now started, doing some procedures like sanitizing all the self-checkout after each person that goes in, after each customer. So they've been sanitizing everything, and then they've also been, and then I think I read an article that Walmart is actually going to be installing some plastic kind of like barriers between the I guess like when you're paying in that part, they're going to install that. So I find that kind of interesting. But I don't know if you guys have seen other grocery stores like Safeway starting to do other things right now. Please comment below, because I haven't, like, there's a Safeway right down the street from me, and I haven't seen them do anything differently. But maybe some are different, especially if you have, I literally just pitted this date and then put the pit in the bowl where I'm putting all the ingredients. So, so right now we're going to be dicing some, oh yeah, there you go, Costco also, I forgot to mention Costco. So we're just going to be dicing some of this, these dates, and and olives. So we'll just dice those up as well. I hope, does these have a clip? No. Also, if you don't like any of these, or like some of these ingredients, you can omit. There's also, you can, if you have this at home, you can add pine nuts to this salad, which can add a pretty good amount of protein. Veggies, make sure you dry them. So you have, there you go. This is like the radishes, the dates, and the olives together. So now we're gonna make the dressing, and we're almost done here. So I have, actually, so I'm gonna be using pretty much this whole thing of cilantro, which I already washed. So I'm gonna use like 2/3 of it in the bowl, in the mixing bowl, and then like 1/3 of it I'm gonna put in the dressing. And especially there's some stems in there that I'll be mixing with the dressing, which with the lemon it's gonna help kind of break down and make it less grassy and bitter. So we are just gonna add this to the dressing bowl. I should take out the chickpeas actually. And I don't know if you guys knew that we have a garden at Chabot, but in the future when we're not in quarantine, just make sure to visit and get some herbs from there, from our garden. So we're gonna add that spice mix into the dressing, and then we're gonna do some salt and we're gonna do pepper and oil, and we're gonna have a good amount of oil in here in this dressing, just because oil is good. Olive oil is awesome. So it'll just be, I'm probably gonna need more. But this is almost making like a chimichurri with the cilantro. I I suppose you don't have to add the cilantro to the dressing, but I really like coating a good amount of it in it. So we're just gonna add more olive oil and I'm gonna taste this. Oh my gosh. It is very limey. I don't need more lime in there. So now we're just going to, you want to get everything out of here. I'm just gonna add all the, there he goes. I'm so excited I'm making this again. You guys should really make this at home. It is delicious. So something that we're gonna talk about today is like, me and Jenny were kind of going back and forth about what would be the best recipe to make right now with everything that's going on. And I wanted to start with like tips on grocery shopping because I feel like everybody's gonna have to go to the grocery store eventually. But she gave there's some good ideas on basically cooking recipes that perhaps you want to whip up with like just limited items that you have in your pantry. So so we are definitely going to be doing that in the future. So you guys want to make sure to stay tuned. And we also were thinking of having some sort of system where you guys actually send in the ingredients that you have at home, and we can make up recipes for you, or give you ideas on what to cook. So we are kind of experimenting with different things. So if you guys have any other ideas or suggestions, make sure to comment below, or just DM us, because we're just trying to make sure that we're doing things that everybody things that are going to be useful for everybody. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. We're just going to plate that and oh wait, I didn't even put the dressing in. So there's the dressing. You want to get everything out of here. I don't think I put pepper on the dressing. Did I put pepper on the dressing? It's not my fault that the world is ending with this pandemic and we can't all get together and eat this beautiful meal that I'm sharing with you. So we are just plating this now. Guess is gonna have lunch right now. So here it is, guys. This is the end product of the Baharat spiced couscous salad. It's so good, it's so hearty, and Just to recap, we have here some roasted garbanzo beans with carrots and in a Sahara spice mix. I keep saying Sahara, it's actually Baharat spice. Excuse my, I'm kind of tired of talking and I want to eat the salad. But if you guys want to watch the whole recipe, just make sure to log back in a few minutes, and we're going to have the video up on the Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram is the HGTV link, and then Facebook I think is just going to be on our profile. But yeah, make sure to tune in the future for other recipes, because we're going to be making a lot more things. And I know maybe I can get Javi to show us some recipes. We're making some videos also in the background, to upload onto the YouTube, the IGTV. There you go. I don't know why I keep saying HGTV. So we're gonna have some YouTube videos that we're gonna upload as well, that are gonna be more edited. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned, and also stay safe out there. You know, stay at home. You know, all you can do is follow the suggestions that the CDC is putting out. But thank you guys so much for being here with us, and we'll see you in another video. Goodbye. Oh yeah, Andrew's the one that editing all of our videos. So Andrew's amazing. He's our student assistant for Fresh, and he's doing a great job editing. So hopefully you'll see those videos soon. But thank you guys so much for being here, and have a good day. Stay safe.